Okay. So, guys, any questions or queries from the previous sessions? Have you done any hands-on?
No, no questions from previous session.
So, today what we are going to do is we are going to work on designer tool, and we'll see that what all things can we do from the designer tool. So before that, what I want you all to do is I'll just share my screen. There is a part of configuration installation that is still required on all your machines. Okay, so I want you all to do that same thing. So let me know once my screen is visible to you.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So what I want you all guys to do is that you log in to your machine. Okay, and I believe this section over here, if I go to downloads, you will be able to see this file over here, right, where we have the one identity manager installation and modules and everything. So what I want from you all is that you open this file, copy this path from here, 8.1.5. Okay, and then similarly what you need to do is that you need to go to your local disk C, inside program files, inside one identity, you create one IAM job server, like this kind of folder in your tool. Okay, in this particular path. Okay, once you have created this, what I want you all to do is that I'm sharing one so what you all need to do is open your this thing, cmd. In the command prompt, what you have to do is you have to reach to this path. Okay, so currently when you will open cmd, it will open c user administrator. So you need to type cd and then down tab downloads, then cd 1 tab cd. Okay, I think that's it. So no more cd is required. So once you reach this path, C users administrator downloads one identity 8.5.1, and you have created that folder that I have told you, right? Then you need to create another folder that is inside the C again. Okay, so with this logs service dot log dot txt file, so you need to create this txt file as well. Okay, once you create three things, firstly you copy the path of this root directory, then installation path is something that where you are installing this job service. Okay, so C program files one IAM job service, and then finally you have to create a txt file where you will be saving the installation logs. Okay, so once these three things you have checked, what you need to do is you need to like select this query, type it over here, and click on the enter button. Okay, so it will take around 3 to 5 minutes to execute it. Okay, so you need to let it execute and work. So can you all just do this? I'll just share this query with all of you. Any one of you can share your screen, and so I can guide him, and then basically others can follow that as well. So with this, what we are trying to achieve is that we are trying to create the job service. Okay, so on which everything will run. So please, any one of you, please log into the machine and then share your screen so that I can guide further.
Well, I'm sharing my screen. Uh, After launching RDP, I'm getting some. I mean, it's asking for credentials. I can just use same, right? Solaris is.
1 second. No, this is yes, Solaris 123321.
Same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and username is also one identity or administrative for this?
This you have logged in inside the machine or like where you are at
No,
the
it's
moment?
no personal. I'm still starting the RDP. The RDP file got
Yeah,
downloaded,
yeah.
right?
So the username is administrator and the password is Solaris 123321.
Okay. You mentioned we need to create a folder somewhere, right? Um,
Yes.
so is it speak locale?
I cannot. Yeah.
Identity. So folder name can be anything, or is it specific?
Bharat,
Uh-huh.
sorry, my screen was sharing. If you are sharing your screen, you can share.
Yeah, okay, continue. No problem.
I know that by mistakenly it got come.
Okay. Okay, Abhinav, if my screen is visible, the folder name should be same or it can be anything.
The folder name could be anything, but you need to specify that same folder name in the uh, query that I've shared.
Okay.
Please create that log file also.
Log file. So it's a F drive.
Remove
This one.
remove that F, remove that F, and make it C. And then in the C
Okay.
drive, create a logs job service installation log.txt file.
Open files, right, job services.
Remove that F from the installation path also. Um,
Okay.
no, no, not here. The entire query that is mentioned.
Yeah.
Uh, it has F media one identity. So provide the exact path where this is saved. So over there you can see the first line CLI root path is given, F media one identity and
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, the
So
cursor.
copy it in the notepad first and then modify it. It will not be correctly modified otherwise. So you need to give the correct path. So media one identity, that is the incorrect path. The correct path is
Mhm.
C, whatever it is mentioned over there. Just copy it from the installation download. Go to downloads. Open first one. Yeah. Again, open the first one. Yeah. On the top icon.
So this.
Yeah. This is the path. Okay. No, no. Still there is one thing.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Installation path. Check that also. See program files. One identity. Identity manager. So instead of this, give the new name that you have given to your
uh,
file.
okay. I need to change the path.
No, it won't be here. You have to copy the path. See
No.
where the installation modules are there. So this would be the path. Yes. Yeah. Now paste that complete text and install. 1 second. There is something. One second. Please wait.
Mm.
Okay, I have shared another query with you. Just copy paste that. Hit enter.
Yeah.
Install manager.cli.exe is not recognized. C uses administrator downloads an identity. No, no, install manager, there is no gap between that.
Okay.
Install manager is .cli.exe is fine. Okay, do one more thing. Go back to the downloads folder.
Here, I think we need to add one more.
No, no, that is not required. Just remove it. I'll tell you what's the pending thing.
Here it
Open the
writes.
modules. Open the modules over here.
Okay.
Go back. Click on setup. Yeah, install manager is over here. So what you need to do is go back to CMD again
Mhm.
and go to the root like C program files. Just remove this and type cd like whatever is mentioned. After that, you need to go to setup also. One identity manager 8.1.5. After that, you need to go to setup, cd setup. Yeah. Now paste that. Remove that. You added something extra, right?
No, I did. I just copied from your chat.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go back to the notepad. I think you put one extra backslash, right? Remove that. Yeah. Remove that.
This one.
Yes. Now again copy paste and
No, what I meant was under downloads, there are two folders uh, here. If you see,
One is a zip file, another one is the correct one. The same thing I also executed. Just a minute, let me check. C downloads one identity install path C one imjs C uses administrator downloads one identity. Hmm.
yeah, it started installing now.
Okay.
That's
What,
installing
what was the
modules.
dependency?
No, I just added the actual folder. This one at the end, full folder path.
Okay, cool. So it will take, I think, 3 to 4 minutes, and it will install the modules on your system. Okay. Meanwhile, all of you, please do the same thing. I'll wait for another 5 minutes, then I'll stop guiding, like start guiding you on other things. So all of you, I'm allowing just 5 more minutes. Just go through it. This is a very important part of installation of one identity, and this is called an accelerator. So what does accelerator means? That when you are installing the anything related to job server or one identity manager tools, so when you are using the CMD instead of the manual installation, so that is called an accelerator. Accelerator means that it will accelerate the amount of work and time that you have to do. Okay. So this particular script that I have just shared with you is called an accelerator. Okay. So it
Okay.
has installed all the modules related. Now, if you go back to your folder, file folder, go back to local disk C and open that. Yeah. So you'll see
Yeah.
these are the related job services it has installed. Now do one more thing. Click
Uh-huh.
on the Windows icon
Okay.
and click on services. Like type services over here. Yeah, open that. So once you install that job service, you will be able to see a one identity manager job service over here. Scroll down. It is yet not showing up over here. Okay. Do one thing. Go back to that file folder again,
Okay.
and on the top where it is mentioned name, date, modified type, just click on type.
Mhm.
Um, Click on type again.
Okay.
Just do a search of job service, search job. No, it's not showing up. Um, One second.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not showing up for you. I'll share my screen to show what happened in my case. So what I did is that I executed the same query that I just shared with you. As you can see, this is the query that I executed on my CMD. After I executed this query on my CMD, what happened that it automatically created this particular thing on my 1IM.js. Okay, and with this, you can see these all job service CMD, job service configurator, and everything was created. So once this is created, we need to open this job service configurator. I showed it to you on the first day also. Then, sorry, second day. Then we have to mention these things: MS SQL, job service provided, job server destination, and follow log library. So once we add all these things, we need to just save it. After saving it, what will happen that if I open the services over here, you'll be able to see something like this: one identity manager service. So once you create that job service, once that job service is created, this particular service starts running. Okay, so I also did it today in the morning only. So once this is started, then your jobs will start to flow in and will start to work. If it is not working for you, one of you can try it again. Okay, see what we you have already seen the steps twice, like once done by me and once done by him. So if it is still not working for you all, just let me know. I'll ask him to delete those instances that are created and copy the instance of mine again. So you'll be able to see that. Okay. So next thing that you need to do is start your SQL Server agent, and then you need to execute these two things. Okay. The reason behind this is that sometimes what will happen that your DBQ will not pick up the jobs. Okay. So to make your DB to pick up the jobs and to work properly, we need to run this. Okay, so you need to do it once your this thing job service is installed and everything is done. If it is not yet done, please wait for the time. Okay, I'll just ask the person to just copy this instance and give it to all of you. So now what we'll be doing is that we'll start working on the designer, and I'll like ask you all, if you are not working, if you are just seeing my screen for now, because I'll be giving you some time once I am completing with this. So I'll be allowing you some time to do the same thing on your systems also. So you can close your instance for that time when I'm teaching you. Okay. So once I provide you that time, then you can again start your instance and work on your lab. So what you see over here is our one identity manager designer. Okay, so this is how it looks like. These are the menu options that it has: create system user, edit configuration parameters, add job server, edit schedules, and everything. Okay, so I'll show you one by one that what everything is. So if I click on create system user, okay, it will open something like this. Okay, if I go to permissions, then you can see we have something called system user. The same thing we get on clicking on getting started, but over there we are getting the option of start create system user. Here we have the system users. So if I just expand this tab, expand system user, we have SA synchronization test VI admin. So this is the same VI admin that we are using that when we are logging into our one identity manager tools. So when you are logging into one identity manager tools, remember you are using this VI admin, okay, and the password that is used for it. Now suppose if I have to create a new entity over here. So mostly in the real life scenario, what will happen? There are two ways of handling or creating this uh, system user. Okay, the first one is that you'll have to create it manually. Like the person, suppose there is a new onboarding in your team, and the person wants access to one identity manager tools. So there are two ways of handling it. First is that it is a manual effort that you will come over here, click on create system user. Okay, give the name of the user. Suppose there is a particular unique ID of the person. Okay, suppose I am the user and my unique ID is ABN01. Okay, this is my unique ID. Okay, or else I can take it from manager also. Like suppose I go to the manager tool. Mm, in the manager tool, I went to employees, and okay, my employee ID is not created. So let's use Suraj. Okay, so mostly what the companies will do in the real time scenario, that they will take their central account name. Okay, so the central account name of this user is Suraj S. So let's copy this. We'll be come over here and we will add it over here. Okay, so CCC Suraj S, and then we'll give it a password. Now, as soon as we done that, we need to commit it to, like, first do one thing. Let's come back to again permission. Let's come back to permissions again and just close and open this again. So you can see there is a new system user added. This is my system user, CCC Suraj S. Okay, so by default these are the permissions and everything that are granted as default, okay, to the user. Now if you want to change anything, like you want that the password that we have just reset for this person should never expire, it should be the same, you can use the same password forever, then you click on this. Otherwise, if you don't do this, what will happen, that it will have to be changed by the user every 3 months. Okay, based on the password policies what you have kept, it will have to be changed. Then logins, you can create many logins for this user. Currently you can see that this user is marked as administrative user. So administrative user means that he can edit anything, he can insert, he can update, he can delete. If you give this user a read only thing, what will happen, that only operations part he can do. Operations means that he can only view the tables, he can view the data, he can fetch the data. Okay, but he cannot do any insert, update or delete. Then comes service account. Service account is something that we give special privileges to. So suppose there are particular servers where we want that individual users should not directly log into that particular account. Instead, we create some service accounts when we give authority to that service account, that only that service account should grant access to that particular server. So in that case, we create new service account. Then we have this external password manager. External password management is something that if we want that we have if we have another tool of password management like CyberArk or Ping, okay, and we want that the password should be managed by that third party tool, okay, like the rotation of the password should happen from there. Then we can select this and integrate our one identity with that CyberArk or whatever tool. So the password rotation will happen automatically in that case. Okay. Now in our case, let this user be administrative user. Okay. We'll commit to database. It's already committed, and then we need to compile the database. So once it is compiled, I'll just Control C, and let's open any of the tools. Suppose I open this DB compiler only. Now instead of this VI admin, I will use this new one. Enter the password. Okay, so you can see that now I am able to log in with this user. Okay, you can even see that this is the identity that I have logged in with CCC Suraj S. So this is how you create a new system user in your database. You can even see it over here also, that I am logged in with this CCC Suraj S. Okay, and if I go to any other tool, you will be able to see we are logged in with VI admin. Okay, now the second thing that I was telling you is that the second way. Okay, the first way is that you manually do it. The second way of dealing or creating these system users is that by using an automatic workflow. So what do I mean by automatic workflow? I recently did a similar creation in one of the organizations where they required something like that a person who has been newly onboarded should go to the prod environment. Okay, and in the prod environment we have three different service accounts. One service account is for the dev environment, one service account is for the UAT, and one is for the stage. Now suppose there is a person who needs development rights for the development dev environment. Okay, so what he'll do, he'll go to the prod environment in the my identity portal. Over there he'll request that product service account for that dev environment. Once all the approvals are done, we created a particular process and a particular script that will use the API, okay, API call to connect to the dev environment, and over there it will see that if the user already exists for this user or not. If it is not there, then it will call the insert API on that user for that table. Okay, once it is done, then this particular thing, whatever we created manually, will be automatically created for this user. The same thing we did for staging and UAT. If the person requires the same thing for UAT, he'll request that service account for the UAT environment. Once it is approved, the API call of insert will apply, and that call will create an insert operation into this UAT environment, and automatically his this particular um system user will be created. The table responsible for this is the dialog user table. So if I open this and type xdate inserted greater than get date minus 1, that means x date inserted is the date on which the record has been inserted, and get date minus 1 means that it has been inserted today. If I add get date minus 2, that means that that has been added within the 2 days. Okay, get date minus 1 means that that has been added today. So if I just filter it, you can see this is the new system user that has been created. I'm not sure what this error is. I'll have to check. Okay. Resource pool. Okay. Any questions on this? Any queries or any questions on this dialog user?
So how can we set certain permissions? For example, I don't want that system user to access all tables or all processes. Is there a way to set up only set of permissions assigned to
Yes.
that user?
So definitely, as I told you, that whenever you are creating this, we have a lot of, you can see these are all the default, by default permissions granted to the user. If you want that only few things should be provided, then if you remove that administrative user from here, then he'll get only the basic rights over here. He'll not get all the rights where he is able to log into everything. Apart from that, what you can do is you can select what he should have. So whatever is shown in green are the things that are granted to him, and all the things that are in orange are something that are not granted to him. So you can still double click on this and remove it. Okay. So in this
Okay.
way, one by one, you can remove the rights that are required for him and add the rights which are required from him.
Okay. And is there a way, there are so many cells, right? Is there a way to understand what permissions it is granting? So if you just show us one, the rest and all we will explore.
Um, I'll have to check what this error is. 701, there is insufficient memory in resource pool default to run this query. I'll have to check this. I don't know what error is coming, but basically, if see what I'll do is if I for this user, if I remove this administrative user and I just double click on this, so what will happen that you can see that this person will not be able to do these particular tasks in the designer. So he will not be able to use the reports. He'll not be able to use the schema, the processes. He'll not be able to see or use any create new processes. Base data. So there is again something base data over here. He'll not be able to do that. He'll not be able to write scripts, write or edit. Dialog tag is something that when we change, save the labels to the change label. So that is not he's going to do. Mail templates and user interface. So user interface is again something that comes over here. So he'll not be able to do all these things. Only what he'll be able to do is launchpad. He'll be able to use the launchpad. Okay. So in this way, if I remove some more rights from him, okay, he'll not be able to use that thing. So I'm not able to do this because it's not allowing me to commit the changes to database. Okay. I'll just see what this error is and I'll work out on this. But this is how it looks like. So once you remove this, but this will only happen once you remove this administrative user, because administrative user will have all the things by default. So unless and until you remove this flag and administrative user, the user will not be able to perform anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I might show you the same thing in the demo version, but let me see if I am able to resolve this issue. I'll show it over here only. Any other questions on this?
No. I think we can go on.
Okay, so let's proceed. So this is about the this thing that what is system user and how we deal with it. The next thing that comes into play is one identity manager schema. Okay, so schema, as the name suggests, schema consists of everything: the tables, the hierarchies, how the tables are linked to each other. So you can see it all over here. So suppose I open any of these tables, like suppose I open ADS account table. Okay, so you'll be able to see that what all things are available on the ADS account tables. So there are some processes that are applied on it in the insert event. There are some on the update event. Then there are some on the delete event. So what does it mean? That if anything is inserted inside the ADS account table, these are the three events that will be triggered. Then if anything is updated into the ADS account table, then these four scripts or these four events will be triggered. Similarly, if there is anything deleted from the table, then this particular event will be triggered. Similarly, then there are some other out of the box, um, processes or events that are applied to it. Okay, suppose there is a change in ADS account home. Okay, the home icon is renamed, then this particular event will be triggered. These are all the attributes. Okay, so if anything is renamed in the profile, then this will be triggered. If anything is moved in the terminal home, then this trigger event will be triggered. So all these events are mentioned over here. Similarly, we have the columns. All these are the columns that are available. Okay, that what all columns we have. Then we have the permission groups view, that which all groups have the permission to view this table, which all groups with access permission have access to this account. Okay, so all these things are can be seen over here. Now if I click on this table ADS account again, so you can see these are all the columns of ADS account table. Okay, these are the existing columns of the active account, Active Directory ADS account table. Okay, Now if I select any one of them, suppose if I select canonical name, so here you will be able to see what all properties this column has. This is a canonical name. Okay. If I click on more, so what kind of property this is? This is a column contains hierarchy information. Okay. This is a string type of column which has minimum maximum size in dB, that is 1000. Log changes are not getting recorded. Log changes when deleting are not getting recorded, except export for SPML is not there. Multi-line means that it could be multiple line. Show in words encrypted means it should be encrypted. Now these two things play a very major role in any of these things. Log changes and log changes when deleting. What does this mean? That if I select this particular thing for any of the table, okay, for any of the table or for any of the columns, what will happen that anything that has been changed or updated on this particular column value, you can just have a look of the process history, like what has been changed, what when it was changed, what was the old value, what is the new value. So you can see that things. Okay, but if it is not checked for this particular column, you won't be able to do that. Same thing we have on the ADS account table also. So this thing you can do it on the like table view also, like you can apply it on the table also, or you can apply it on the column wise also. Okay, so I want that this column should have the log changes enabled or not, that you can do it from here. The next thing is very important. This is a very important topic over here. That is the value template. Okay, so value template plays a very important role in one identity. What does value template mean? So that day I was telling you that there are multiple things that you can do in the person table or in any table, and if there are triggers or anything that are applied on the table or on the columns, then that will add further entries to other tables or columns. Okay, so this is the place where you do that thing. Okay, so suppose over here the value template is using that if the value of variables is full sync, then this particular script should be called, that is vi target system base utilis lad ldap on convert to canonical name. This should be called. Okay, so what will happen that as soon as anything is done, it will fetch this value, and based on that it will change the value. It will fetch the value of the distinguished name and put it over here. So what does that mean? That if I go to manager tool, okay, and click on ADS, click on user accounts, okay, there is this particular thing. I think there is some memory which has been breached, and because of which it is not allowing me to do any operations. I think this is because of the cache issue. Let me see. Okay, basically I'll have to allocate some more memory to the for the RAM. So there are some huge things that are working at the backend which is not allowing me any to do anything. Okay, maybe because of that only the jobs are also not running quite properly. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll just open the uh, demo version from one identity and let's focus on that. I'll just correct these things and I'll share the details with you soon. Just we'll give it 2-3 more minutes to see. Okay, so now we will just
Username will be Benp, I guess, BENP.
BENP.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, that this one, first one, password will be that 100. OI camp 100 hyphen. Yeah, that one.
No, but that if we log in with the first one, it's a demo user, so it will not give us everything. We have to log
Okay,
in with.
okay, okay, okay.
I don't know why it's not. Let me try to do one more thing. There was a document also. One second. See, the same thing it is showing, but it's not logging in. No, now it launched. Okay, great. So now what we'll do, so once we are here, what we'll do is we'll go back to the manager tool that I was showing to you. Let's open the designer as well by that time. So if I go to this manager tool and over here I select ADS user accounts, and suppose I want to add a new account over here. So I'll click on this. Meanwhile, I'll go to this um, one identity manager schema, and over here I'll select ADS account. So we were discussing about this canonical name, value calculation, and the same value calculation is over here also. Okay, so you can see if the full sync is turned on and this is, then the value of this particular thing would be taken from the distinguished name. Okay, so let's try this out. If I click on this and add a new value over here, give it a name as test account, select the domain and click save. Okay, so now once I saved this, let's dive into the object browser and see what has happened over there. I'll open the ADS account table, and again the same query, xstate inserted greater than get date -1, because unnecessary, I don't want all of them to be accumulated over here. I just want the one that I have recently created. I'll open this and we'll go to this canonical name. So you can see this canonical name is IAM demo slash test account. Okay. And where is my distinguished name? My distinguished name is CN test account DC IAM demo DC com. So what it is actually trying to do, this particular script function that is mentioned over here, so it is taking the input variable as distinguished name. So whenever we are typing $distinguished name, that means it is taking this particular value and then it is passing it to this script, and based on the results, the script is giving us a value. Okay, so if we'll open this script, there will be a particular logic that it will be using, convert to canonical name. This is the name of the script. This would have converted the name from the given distinguished name to the required name. Let's do one thing. Let's go for a simple example so that it is easy to understand. So let's take the example of person table. And remember, I told you that I'll be showing you this in the coming lab. So as I showed you that as soon as we create a new person in the manager table, okay, the central account name, the email address are automatically created, right? So the logic behind that is written again in the same thing. That is, if I go to default email address, okay, you can see there is a whole lot of things written over here. So if length of central account is greater than 0, and also UID person, the unique identifier of person table, is greater than 0, that means these two values are not null. Okay, if these two values are not null, then what it is doing, dim default email address as a string, create create default address entity function script string dot format. This is the central account. So basically what it is doing, it is again creating a variable over here for default email address. Then this is again a script. It is passing these two values, like it is passing the entity value, then it is passing the function. Okay, once all these things are passed, okay, and the format of central account, then it is fetching the value of the email address. Okay, similarly, if we go to the central account, you can see again there is a logic mentioned over here. If import source is not equal to ADS, and also last name is not null and the first name is not null. Okay, so it is checking that import source should not be ADS. Okay, last name should not be null, first name should not be null, and also this variable set full sync should not be true, should not be false, or else if import source starts with HRVB EBS app, then value is equal to QER build central account, and this is the value it is providing. Okay, now if I want to see what is happening, that means that whatever the entries we are putting over here, it is logically converting the values from here. Okay, it is passing these values, entity, function, first name, last name, and this thing. Now if I want to just manipulate something to show you that how it is actually working, so let's do one thing. If I go to let's say extension, and I add something over here, testing, and let's save it. Now what I'll do is I'll come back over here. Instead of this, what I'll pass dollar custom and click save. Commit to database, save. Now, if I would have to test inside this designer tool, I didn't have to compile the database, but because I'm using, I will be testing on the object browser, so I'll have to compile the database. So I'll just compile the database.
Abhinav, can you repeat the last statement? What you said? Like commit and compile
Yeah.
difference.
So whenever, see, if you are working on the designer tool and you are
Uh-huh.
working on particular thing, like you are working on the process or you are working on the script, and you are only working on the designer, you are not going to test it anywhere outside of the designer. That means you are not going to use the manager as of now. You are not going to use the object browser or something. So you can still left the compiling of database and you can work on this. The things will change over here. But if you are testing outside of the designer, like you are working on the manager tool or object browser, they will only consider this changed value in the designer once the database is compiled. So committing it to database will not work. You will have to compile the database if you are testing it outside of the designer. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, yeah, yes, got it.
Speaking
So
change one.
compiling does only compile the task which we did, or it does everything? Because it's taking more time, no? Like, how-
Yeah, I don't know if it is taking the full compilation. It should not have taken the full compilation. Let's do one thing. Compile. Okay, it is asked compile scripts. I don't want to compile the scripts. Yes, someone else has also worked on this, because of which there are few things that are not working. So we'll have to do a full compilation. Meanwhile, I'll tell you a few more things. Okay, since it is compiling. So the other things that we have over here in the design tool is the process orchestration. That is also a very important topic. Then we have this script library. Okay, script library is something that where we write all the scripts, okay, related scripts. So today, if we get the time, yes, we do have the time right now. So what we'll do is we'll create a new script. Okay, so I'll be creating a new script. You all can take a screenshot of that script, and that script you are again going to use for your thing. Okay, and once you work on that script, you can manipulate it in the way you want to manipulate it, and basically you'll learn how to create a script in one identity. Okay, so let's just wait for a while. I think it will take a lot of time. Let's cancel this and see if it is working or not. So what we have done is that we have done the changes to the central account, this thing. Okay, what we have done is that we have changed the logic that this is going to be the values that are getting passed. Okay, so once we have done this, we'll go to manager tool and we'll come to this. We'll select any of these identities. Suppose I selected this one. I'll take the UID of this user. Go to person record and type over here UID underscore person. This is the person. Now over here we'll go to central account, right click and click on this run template. Okay, it has not yet changed. That means that because of the fact that compilation is not completed, so it is not updated. But what should have been the recommended thing, that once you change this value, what will happen, that automatically whatever is the changed value over here, okay, suppose I have mentioned the value as custom property 6, from the custom property 6 it should have put this value, okay, and from there it should have changed the view, okay.
So this is going to update every record present in IDM, right? It's not.
Correct,
I'm not.
correct. So if you are changing this logic over here, anything in the person table will get updated because of this. So all the records in the person table, it will now take the logic as it will take the custom property 06 and the last name instead of the first name and last name. So currently what it is doing, it is taking the first name and the last name, and then it is, I think, taking the first three letters of the um last name and the first letter of this thing. Okay, now if we'll change the logic, it will apply for all these things. So next time onwards, what will happen? As soon as you create a new employee into the person table, it will automatically take this value from here and whatever is the last name, and will create the central account with that only. Many cases will happen that if you are working on the operation side, so these templates, what happen that many times the template doesn't work correctly. The reason behind it is that the job queue or DB queue is not working, and because of that the particular update that should have happened is not completed. So either what you'll have to do is you come over here in the object browser, open that user from here, okay, just right click on the account which you think has not changed and it should have changed. Just right click over here and click on this run template icon. So what it will do, whatever is the value template that is written, the logic that is written inside the value template will automatically update this value, okay. So just remember that never ever try to add anything, update anything in the person record or any table. If there is a logic written inside it for the value template, just run the template. Because what will happen, that suppose if you update it, okay, if I update this value over here, what will happen that when it will come to the auditing, it will show that this thing was updated by the user, okay. So it will show that it was being updated by the user over here, so my name will appear over here. If you are doing with the run template, what will happen, instead of showing your name, it will show over there SA, and SA is considered as something done by the system process itself, okay. So legally what should you be doing, that whenever you have to do any updates and you think that value template has not completed its work over here, then you come over here in the object browser and click on run template. That will automatically update this value, okay. No need to update it manually, because that way it will be auditing issue. So with this value template, we can do a lot of things. It's not limited to what you are seeing. It's actually a lot more that you can do from the value templates. So from the value templates, you can pull a value from a different table, from a different column. Okay. And then you can play around with it. You can do some manipulations. You can add or remove something from the string and then do it. Like it's similar to writing a particular VB.NET script. So in one identity, wherever you need to work on VB.NET, it will be written over here. Like you can see the bookmark over here is watermark is one I'm VB.NET instruction. So here you need to put the values in the VB.NET instruction format. There are multiple places where you need to add SQL query. Okay. So over there it will be mentioned SQL query instruction. Like if I go to, I cancel this. And if I go to process orchestration and process automation, select any one of them. So you can see the condition over here, it requires SQL query. Okay, so it is mentioned over here SQL. Okay, so what kind of query, either it is VB.NET or SQL, is mentioned over here in the watermark, that what kind of instructions are required to be given to this. Okay, any questions on this?
No.
Okay. Now we'll do one thing. We'll proceed with the creation of the script. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll just pick up that script that I have kept handy with me. Okay, I think we are not supposed to copy paste anything inside this thing. So let me do one thing. There's that. Okay, so let me share my screen. So this is the script that we are going to work on. Okay. So what you need to do is go to this script library over here. Okay. Then you have this option, create a new script. You'll click on this create a new script, and we'll see that how we use this script. Okay. So let's give it a name, ADS test. Okay. The name of this script should be similar to what you are giving in the function. Okay. So whatever the function you are creating should have the same name. So I'll give public function ADS test. Okay. Now basically whatever you pass over here inside are the variables. Okay, variables that will be taken as the inputs. Okay, so like the way we were discussing when we saw this thing over here in the schema editor, I showed you that this is the script, and inside the script we are passing these parameters, right? So obviously when we are creating the script, any parameters that needs to be passed to this script are mentioned or defined inside this. Okay, and if you want this script to return something in string, or you want something as a boolean result or something, because obviously function is something that should have a return type. Okay, there are two things that we use. First is a function, and the second thing is a sub. Okay, the difference between the function and the sub is that function will have only one return type, and it could have no subs inside it. But sub is something that can have multiple return types and can have a multiple functions inside it. Okay, so there are two types of things that we use. First is function, and another is sub that we use in one identity manager. Now suppose I don't want to pass any parameters over here. I just want to fetch a value, like suppose at the end I should receive a string value. Okay, so I'll just mention over here public function ADS test. This is the name of my function, and as a string means that I will be getting the output, or the return type should be in the string format. Okay, now the next is dim. If it would have got copied, that would have been better for me. But unfortunately it is not. So I'll have to just write one by one the things that are mentioned over here. Okay, so just allow me a minute. So what we'll do, once we have declared this function over here, we'll declare the different variables that we'll be using. So I'll use dim table as I call db then we'll raise connection. So this is IntelliSense that will automatically give you some of the things that you might be using. Okay, so IntelliSense will be automatically coming up when you will be mentioning the values. Connection dot create for, and then we will pass the value over here of the ADS group. So what we are doing is that suppose we have a table called ADS group. Okay. Now what we want to do is that we want to fetch all the values that are there in the ADS group table that belongs to a particular domain, ADS domain. Okay. Or means you what you can see that whatever the ADS groups are maintained inside the ADS group, I want all those groups in a comma separated view. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create a collection, okay, of this ADS group table. So this is how we create a collection, is that we'll define a table whenever we are defining anything in one identity. It is defined in this way. Okay, dim table as I call db object, and then you can maintain. One more thing I need to add over here is that before creating anything, I need to import a collection over here. So imports system dot collections dot generic. Okay. Now next, now what I'll do is dim uid ads group equal to connection dot get config param custom slash uid ads domain dot to string. Okay. So now here what we are trying to achieve is that I remember I told you that there is something called config parameters, where inside the config parameters there is something called global variables. Okay, so whatever you whatever you define inside the variables, config parameters, they are considered as the global variables. So global variables means that they can be used anywhere inside the script, anywhere inside the process, anywhere inside the value templates, mail templates, web designer. So they can be used anywhere. Okay, so I'll just show you how they are used. So let me just click on end function. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll go to this base data, expand this general tab. Inside general tab we have configuration parameters. Inside config parameters we have all these different type of bifurcations. So these are all the by default or out of the box variables that are already created by one identity. If you are working on any custom variable, then you need to add it over here only. Okay, so suppose I want to add it over here, I'll just right click over here inside custom, click new, and mention over here uid ads domain. Give it a value. Okay, so giving a value is not something that we are going to do in this way. If we are typing uid ads domain, we'll have to get the correct uid ads domain. So I'll go to ads domain table. Control. So there is just one ads domain. I'll pick up this value, Control C. Come back to this designer and paste this value over here. Okay. Now the good thing about this particular thing is that suppose currently this is my ADS domain. Okay, I just have one ADS domain and I'm saving it over here. Now suppose there are multiple ADS domains that I have, and I have to use a logic where I need to fetch all the ADS domains, and from all those ADS domains I want to filter any specific group. So you can just select the comma separated over here. You can just add or remove the values from here, and in the script you can write a logic that it should take these comma separated values in the way of the columns. Okay, so the only benefit of using this is that it can be appended by the operations team. Operations team can come over here and change the value. Suppose there is something called buffer days, that we know that this buffer day field currently it is 14 days. Now in the next few days it will become 21 days, or there might be chances that they make it 30 days. So you know that this is a variable and it may change with time, and ops team needs to change it with the selected time. So you just define a variable over here, and obviously ops team will come in, save this value and commit to database. Now the good thing about config parameters is that you don't need to compile the database. As soon as you just commit it to database, saving it to database will be considered as the compilation. Okay, so just saving anything into this will be considered as the compilation, and the compilation doesn't needs to be required. So that is why it is considered a lot that we use this particular thing. Now to use it, what we require is we need to copy this path. Okay, suppose we want to use this in our script or anywhere, we just need to copy this path, come back to our script, and over here I'll just paste it. Okay, so in this way this UID ADS group will fetch the value of whatever the thing I have passed. It will fetch the value of it. Any questions on this? Guys, any questions on this?
Abhinav, actually, I didn't get completely, I couldn't understand completely, but let me try it once myself, and if I get any questions, I will ask tomorrow in tomorrow's sessions.
Okay. So now what we do is we'll create another thing, dim groups. New list. Now what we are doing, because obviously we are fetching all the ADS groups. Okay, we are creating a collection of ADS groups. So obviously it cannot be contained inside a string. We'll require a list. Okay, so we'll create a list over here. Okay, this is the way we create a list in vb.net, one identity. Now we'll fetch the values. Okay, so fetching the values require this particular syntax. So table dot prototype dot where clause equal to string dot format UID ADS domain equals to this thing. Okay, ADS domain. Let's open another bracket over here so that we can close it. Okay, now after this we'll have UID ADS group. Okay. So what we did over here, we wrote a where clause. In this where clause, this is the way we write a where clause in the VB.NET. So string.format UID ADS domain 0. 0 means whatever is mentioned on the 0th position in the string format will be considered over here. So what we are passing over here, that UID ADS domain value should be equal to this UID ADS group, or we can just change the name, mention a domain, and the same thing we'll control C, control V. So whatever the domain name we are passing from here, okay, it will take this value. Okay, now we have put the where clause. Now we need to insert it into the table. Okay, so table dot prototype dot columns. Suppose I fetch the value that is the canonical name. Okay, I want to fetch all the canonical names. So cns dot is display item equals to true. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is just load the table dot load. Okay, so now with this what we have done is we have created this where clause. Okay, where UID ADS domain is this, and fetch all the CN. So this particular query what you have written is equivalent to, if I open SQL and type over here, select CN from ADS account where ADS domain UID ADS domain and the value from here. So this is the exact same value. Sorry, we have taken it from ADS account. It would be ADS group. Okay, so this is the exact value that we are fetching over there, that for which we have written this script. Okay, so this is what it is going to do. It's going to fetch up all the ADS group that has this ADS domain that we have passed via our config parameter. Any questions on this before we proceed? I know we are 5-6 minutes up the time, but it will take another 5 to 10 minutes and I'll cover this script part. Any questions on this? Okay. For each table item as I call ln, Okay. So now what I have done is I have created that for each table item as okay. This is I for ELM. For each item, for each table item as I call element in table. Okay. So what I'm trying to do now is we have already, let me expand this box. So what we have done, we have imported the system.connections.generic. This is required for the list items. So list of string is only created when we import this collections.generic. Then we have created a connection with the ADS group table. We fetch the value of the ADS domain that the customer has passed, that what should be the ADS domain value. Once this is defined, we are creating a new list of groups. Okay. Then we are creating the where clause where UID ADS domain should be this table.prototype.columns cn. If we want to fetch any other column, we could have just simply entered over here table.prototype.columns, distinguish name table.proto.columns, and whatever you want to display, you can just click on as true. So that will also be considered in your query. Because in my query currently I just require cn, so that is why I've mentioned this. Otherwise, you can just simply add distinguished name, you can add canonical name, server name, whatever you want to add, you just need to copy and paste the same thing and change the value over here and mark it as true. So multiple things you can for search from a query. Like my query is just to fetch the cn, select cn. If you want, select cn comma distinguished name comma x server comma that and this. So you can just keep on adding the new columns over here. Once you have completed this, you need to load the data. Now why we are doing in this way, because we don't want to load all the tables from all the columns or all the data from the ADS group table. We only want to fetch the data that belongs to this particular ADS domain and only this particular column name we want. So we are loading the value now. Now once we have loaded the value, what we are doing that in this table, now what would have happened that in this table we would have got the data in this format. Okay, this is the format that in which we have received this data in our list. Okay, so now what we are doing is one by one for each table item as I call element. Okay, it's ILEM. I call element in table. Dim string as string. So we are passing this str as a string. Okay. Where table item dot get value cn. So we are fetching this value from here in the string format, and we are adding that groups dot add into this string. Okay. Now next means that now the next loop. So this is the loop. Okay. So again we are getting this first value and we are putting it in the comma separated value. So you can see that for every value that we are getting over here, we are separating it with a comma. Okay. So now once this is done, what will happen that at the end, because we have put this as a string, that the return type should be string, at the end this script will return a whole set of values that we have passed. Okay, so let me just save it. We have a local compilation over here, so I'll just compile this locally. It should not have taken this much time, like it happens instantly. But I think because of the fact this whole server of this demo is blocked due to some issues, it is not able to compile it.
So Abhinav, while it is loading or compiling, so where and all we can use these scripts, like the script we have written, right? How can we trigger it, or in which
See,
ways we can use it?
this script could be used in multiple places. This script could be used in mail template, like you have created a new mail and you want that mail should display a few things based on the inputs from the user. It should display
Okay.
few things. So in that place, you can use a script. Then again, if you have created a new process and in the process, there are things that you need to calculate from different tables. You want to fetch data, then you want to add some data, you want to manipulate some things. So again, you will require a script in that case. Okay, most of the custom target systems will require a script, because in that way only you'll be able to fetch and remove the data. Similarly, if you are using API call, so API call will also require a script creation. Okay, how will you call the API using the script? That is also a very big topic. Okay, so you'll need to pass the complete format, like when you are using suppose you are using Postman. In Postman you have body, request, body, everything. Okay, so that same format you have to pass it in the form of script. So once you pass that, you will receive some values from there, and then again you need to put or compare some things in the scripts or in the table. So that is where you need the scripts. Value templates also, as I showed you, that in the value template also we are using script, that we are passing some values, and based on that we are getting some values. Right. So script is used in a lot of applications in one identity.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to handle this thing because it's in the compilation and nothing will work until this compilation is complete. Actually, that's pretty odd that this website belongs to one identity and this is not working.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to waste all of yours time. Okay, I'll try to create our lab itself into its correct form. Okay, so that you can work on it. So as I promised that all the 30 hours you will get. So whatever the time you are not able to utilize in your lab. So even if the session ends, you can utilize that time after our sessions are over. And if you have any queries, you can ask um, Sunana. And if there is something urgent that you are not getting, I can just come back again and explain you that topic. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, because obviously this is not showing up, it is getting compiled. So what I wanted to show you with that script is that how we write a query. Okay, how we write a new query, and once it is written, there is a something called test script. So test script, what it does, that based on the parameters, like our script doesn't have any input parameters. If there would have been any input parameter, I just need to pass the values, and in the result set, it will give the exact value what is the output of this script. Okay, but unfortunately, this thing is not. Let me just close it. So now you can see there is a new custom script that has been added over here, that is ADS test. Click on this test script. Okay, it has not yet been compiled, so it is not showing up over here. So what it would have done, that if I have, like, it would have get compiled, then as we click on this run button, so it would have shown us the result over here in the result pane, that these are all the groups, and it would have come in the comma separated values. Okay, but it is not coming unfortunately at the moment, but that is the outcome of the script that would have come. Any questions or queries on this? I'll just share this script with you, all of you, and once the instance is ready, you all can write this script in your own way. Okay, this is the script, so you all can just take a look on this and write on, like, you can also open the demo sessions. Like, it is not working for me, it might be working for all of you, because it creates a different demo session for all of us. Okay, so you can also open it and try it out, write this script over there and test run. But also keep in mind that when you are creating it, we are using this thing, uh, config parameter. So first you need to create that config parameter the way I told you. Once that config parameter is created, then you can obviously reuse it. Any questions or anything? Madhukar, Bharat, Mohan, any questions, anything?
As of now, no questions. We'll just work on relating.
Okay, I'll recommend all of you. See, my work is to like provide you the details and everything, but unless and until you guys will try it on your own and do some practice, you won't have any questions. Okay, so it would be great if you can all, go through the question, like go through whatever we are doing, and do some hands-on like either on the demos lab or on the lab that we have provided. Okay, do some practice over there. Unless and until you do some manipulation or play around with the data, you won't be able to get that much uh, excellence. Okay, so just go through the sessions, because obviously our sessions are only of 20 hours. So I want you to go through everything what we are doing and ask as many things that you want to ask. Either it could be related to what you are currently doing in your organization. You can ask that you are facing this kind of issue or you are facing this kind of errors. So I can help you with that also, and understanding of how those can be resolved.
Sure, Abhinav. We'll do that.
Okay, then I think all good. We can wind up the session for now, and we'll connect again tomorrow at the same time.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.